What's up? I thought I would go through all of the books on my physical TBR, most of which are behind me right now. So let's get into it. Hey, what's up? I have a flight tomorrow and I actually have to get up in a few hours. It's 1:02 and I thought that since I was going away for a month, when I come back, we would actually get to build like the bookshelf that I've been talking about forever now. I got a bookshelf for Christmas and we're gonna build that. So this book wall has to come down, and I thought to speed up the process, we would just take this down. I was gonna take it down anyway, so we can just go through my entire like physical TBR. I've read some books here. I haven't read, not gonna lie to you, most of them. But yeah, so if you're wondering where they're going, they're gonna go into book bags. Book bags. Anyways, yeah, I have a bunch of bags that I would put my books in, and it would get really heavy, but what can you do? I have nowhere else to put them. Let's get started. What should we pick? We should start from the top. Oh, I have one knocked down. This is technically half of my TBR. I read Jurassic Park already. We're missing The Lost World, which is the second book here. Should this count as a half? Not sure, but this is one. Then we have Onyx Storm. This is the Target exclusive. I got my hands on this on release day. I just, out of luck, I got it online, but Onyx Storm. Planning on reading this sometime soon, hopefully, because I want to read Iron Flame as well. Iron Flame comes before this, but I haven't finished it. I haven't even started it. Books are gonna disappear behind me just because I've read them. Other two books here are The Odyssey and Frankenstein. Yeah, Frankenstein. I started The Odyssey at one point and then I wasn't really in the mood for it. I stopped on page 50. So when I do read this, because I really do want to read this, especially before the Christopher Nolan movie comes out, I'm gonna pick that up again and I'm gonna restart it from the beginning because I don't remember anything. I think I started it like 2 years ago, but we're gonna restart that from the beginning. I can't tell if I was gonna count these, but how many do we have so far? I think we have 4. I'm gonna leave that up to me when I'm editing to tell you how many, because yeah, I'm gonna hate myself later for that. Then we have these 3, The Prestige. I watched this movie a few years ago and I was totally mind blown because I didn't know the premise of this at all. And then I found out it was a book, so I picked it up, and this has been one of the books that I've been looking forward to reading, but that I haven't actually like ever been in the mood to read. You know what I mean? Like, it's up there, like I want to read it, but it's just not, it's never the right time. One Italian Summer I also got. I took it, funnily enough, I took it with me on a trip to Italy, and I don't read on vacation most of the time, so I never actually read it. Red, White, and Royal Blue. This is a part of my TBR club. But yeah, I stopped on page 184. No, I'm not gonna get into spoilers, but that's something I have to finish. Listen, I never DNF a book. I mostly just say that they're DNF'd for, it's like a soft DNF, because I never actually, like, not plan on never coming back to a book. It's like not something that happens. Like, every book that I DNF, I always plan on finishing no matter what, because if I buy a book, I'm gonna finish it, whether I like it or not. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Then we have Atonement. This is something I really do want to read, and I've been in the mood for it recently, so I feel like I'm gonna pick this up maybe when I come back. I also have to pick which books I'm taking with me on this trip. I'm going for like 4 weeks, I think. So I really have to decide what I'm bringing. I already know one, but I don't really know. I don't read that much when I go on trips and stuff, so I have to pack smartly. Cleverly? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I have to pack that way because you only have so much room. Spells for Forgetting. I also picked this up, I think, last year. I never read it. I mean, I bought it like last year. Haven't read it yet. Then we have Salem's Lot and Haunted. I was planning on picking this up towards, you know, fall season. Never happened. I started Haunted. I'm on page 10. We're gonna take that out of there. The Spanish Love Deception. I fell victim to it in 2021. When book talk was becoming a thing and everybody was talking about it. The consensus I've heard is that it's not a very good book, but I still have it. I'm gonna read it. Thirst, it's another book I took down, but I read The Song of Achilles. I realized it was based off but after I picked that up, I picked this one up because I wanted to read it and I heard it was good, and then hence why I have The Odyssey, actually. That's like a series of events. I was like, okay, I didn't read like the book that I was supposed to read that The Song of Achilles is based on, so I'm gonna read The Odyssey before I get to this. since I never read the Odyssey, I never read Circe. So that's another one. And The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Highcastle. I bought this also because of a Barnes & Noble sale. I don't know, looked interesting. So it's a murder mystery. I want to dive more into murder mysteries, which is why I got that. And then I bought these three, and I have to tell you why I have these three. Originally, I think it was the same day that I got this one, but I saw this one, I read the back of it, it looked really interesting, and then I found out it was part of a series. So what did I do? I said, no, I have to read them all, even though they said you could read them individually. I was like, no, I don't do that. So I picked up the first two, 1, 2, 3, and haven't gotten to it. I tried to read this once, but I wasn't in the mood for it, but it looks really good. Honestly, it's like a fantasy type situation. I'm not going to tell you I know exactly what it's about because I don't remember, but they honestly do look like really interesting books that I want to read, so that's what that is. And I really do want to read this one, so I will get to this one at one point or another. And this isn't even the entire series, so we're gonna get through the first three and then we can pick up the rest if we want to. And then we get to the bottom of this first area. Okay, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know how I feel about, oh god, they stuck together. Caravel. I read this, we all know, but when I was reading this, I was like, well, you started it, might as well buy the rest of the series. And that's what I did before getting to the end and coming to the conclusion that I did not care for it. But like I told you, I do not buy books and not read them. So I was planning on reading this year. Actually, if I wasn't going on this trip, I feel like I would have read it sooner rather than later. But expect that coming to you sometime soon, because I want to wrap up that series and be done with it forever. And then I have the Divine Comedy. I really wanted to read this, and then I started and I was like, I really need to gather my brain cells together to really dive into that one. So I hit pause on it and then never clicked play again. Dark Matter, a sci-fi book that I'm not really into sci-fi, but it was an Apple TV show, and then I was really interested in the Apple TV show, and then I was like, it's a book, read the book first. So yeah, A Little Life, terrified of this, don't know when I'm gonna pick it up. Can't promise anything soon because I'm terrified of that book. If We Were Villains, I picked this up and then I stopped reading it because I wasn't in the mood for it. We have Vicious, also on the TBR, and one of the books that I wanted to read this year. Also not pictured in this background behind me, but I also have the second book in that series. Vengeful, not with me, it's in another room, but that's also something I have on my TBR. Then A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, also bought this with the whole Caravel. Like, I bought Caravel and The Spanish Love Deception and this one, and One of Us is Lying, which I think is over here, in that whole beginning of book talk era. So these have been on my TBR for a really long time. I love how I'm just taking these down but not actually packing anything. The Shining, I got, again, 10 pages into this, I think. No bookmark, I took it out, so we are gonna have to restart that. No biggie. Wasn't in, like, you know, book slump area. That's fine. 5 stars, make an appearance. One of the other ones is already down there. Lessons in Chemistry, but would recommend. If you notice, when we get towards the bottom, that's where the hardcovers are. But on the bottom of this stack are these books. Wicked, I got so long ago and I never read it. But now that I've watched part 1 of Wicked, I'm gonna read this before the second part comes out. Even though I heard there's not really much of a correlation, we're gonna do it anyway. And then we have the complete series of Sherlock Holmes. This is something I got last year for Christmas, and I always plan on reading it like in the winter, but it never happens for some reason. I wasn't really in the mood. I feel like it's the size that intimidates me because this is everything, but I'm gonna have to pull the trigger one day and just start reading it and go through it like that. Because they're all stories, like different books and everything, so at least as far as I know. So this is plus I'm really interested in Sherlock Holmes, so this is something I really want to read. Everything here is something I really want to read, or I wanted to read at one point or another, but yeah. Then we get to this section. These books are in no particular order whatsoever. They're not stacked in any way that makes any sort of sense. So we have In the Lives of Puppets and Thistlefoot. These two made an appearance in my trying to pick books off of the first 10 pages, I think. But yeah, haven't read those yet. The House in the Cerulean Sea. Heard good things about this. Want to pick it up at some point. American Psycho, something I'll maybe read in the summer/fall. The Cat Who Saved Books. I started this a while ago. Wasn't in the headspace for this. Piranesi, wanted to read this one, and Anxious People, also in that 10 pages sort of video I made. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, also something I heard is really good and people just speak very highly about. Want to read that. Good Omens, I watched the first season and I don't remember anything about it. Like, I remember some things, but not a lot, but I do want to read that. And then The Count of Monte Cristo, I wanted to read this. And then I watched a Simpsons episode where it told me basically the whole plot about The Count of Monte Cristo, so I kind of put it off until I forgot about what that whole story was about. And when I think about it now, I think it's finally kind of faded from my memory, but I still remember parts of it, so I have a little bit more time to go on that front. But yeah. And now we get to our last pile. That was fast, I feel. What time is it? It's been like 20 minutes. Okay. Beach read. This is coming with me. I'm trying to finish up my Emily Henry whole journey here. Her next book comes out in like on Tuesday, so in like 2 days. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can pick that up at the airport if they have it. Maybe early or something. I don't know. Something I should really finish is Kiki's Delivery Service. I was reading this in a book slump, but it's a really easy read, but never finished this. But yeah. The Midnight Library, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I also DNF'd this just for the summer. I picked this up because I heard it was good, and then I found out it was part of an interconnected series, so we're gonna try to do that. we're gonna finish a lot of these books before I buy more books, because honestly I don't have any book right now that I want that is out there that hasn't, like, that's been released. But we're not gonna be buying any more books because I have a lot I haven't finished, obviously, and I don't feel the need to do that right now. I have a lot of books surrounding me that I just pick up when I want to read. Nothing is really out there that I want to read desperately right now. Only like new releases. Like I picked up The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes that came out. I read it. That's done. The new Emily Henry book. I want to wrap up all of my Emily Henry books, so that's something I'm going to pick up. And the only one, oh god, I keep going back and forth about how I say the name. Catabasis, but I don't think that's how you say it. But we're gonna call it that. I heard it said and I can't remember how you say it. But that new book by R.F. Kuang that comes out in August, I want to pick that up and I want to read it. I feel like it kind of cancels itself out when I pick it up and I read it, because it's like, oh, you already read it, you know, like not much change. But no huge book hauls coming from me anytime soon, because honestly I have a lot here that I need to get through. So Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, The 7-Year Slip, and The Storied Life of A.G. Fikri. Like I said, I have One of Us is Lying here, haven't started it. No Longer Human by Junji Ito. I actually picked up Fragments of Horror by him, and I wanted to read and like look at more of his work. He's known for like horror, so I picked this one up because I heard it was good. Woo! And I want to read it. Maybe during, again, like Halloween time I'll read that. But I have a lot on my list for like Halloween's, like fall area. Look Out for the Little Guy. I actually started this. Well, maybe I'll make a DNF video, but I think I got halfway through that. It's based on Ant-Man. When it came out, I was like, oh my god, I want to read that. And I got it, and then I started reading it, and then I DNF'd it. But maybe I'll make a video on my DNFs on why I did that. But yeah. Remarkably Bright Creatures, also something else I wanted to pick up. And now we're down to our last three. Crazy. The Enigma of Room 622. This is translated from... I feel like I'm gonna get to this one soon because I want to read this. It's a murder mystery. Then we have Iron Flame and Romantic Comedy. Oh, we can talk about the ones that aren't pictured here, but those are the recent books that I got for Christmas and my birthday. I took a picture of them so I would know. I have The Stand by Stephen King, Vengeful, which I mentioned, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, Dracula, and If He Had Been With Me. As well as I got the Percy Jackson series for Christmas. Most of them I haven't read, honestly. I think I only read Lightning Thief. I got the Lord of the Rings trilogy as well as The Hobbit. So yeah. I wish you could see my whole setup right now because I have a whole bunch of, like, a stack of books right here. But now I have to actually put these away. So this is everything that has been on my TBR, and I have a said number of books on my TBR. Leaving that to future me to actually tell you the quantity of books that I have. But yeah, next time you'll see a book background behind me. it'll be my bookshelves, which is exciting. That'll be in a month or two. I'm happy I got to sit down with you and tell you everything and all of the books that I have that I haven't read yet, even though it's kind of embarrassing. But just know, I'm not buying any more books because I have no need to. And yeah, I'm pretty content. At least it's not in the hundreds, that's all I have to say. And I have a lot of books to fill out the bookshelves. Hopefully it'll take up a good amount of space, but not too much space because I want to add more eventually when I get back to buying books. But yeah, that's about it for today. If you liked the video, maybe give it a like, subscribe, and if you want to keep up with me, all my socials are linked down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!